Right, so what type of question is this? So the key word is how in this, okay? What I advise people in answering any sort of essay question at all is to ignore some of the terms that people normally focus on, which is the private enterprise, food, government, high schools, the sort of nouns, and instead to focus on whether it's asking you a how question or a why question or a which question, or simply saying asking for a yes or no. Are governments useful? Is a very, very different question to a how question. So a how question is definitely similar to a why question, because especially this one where it's saying how did it happen is a little bit like why did it happen. But the difference, I would say, is how did it happen is emphasizing that history is important here. And it's asking for factors, really. What are the factors that came to make this thing happen? So that's why I've said you can answer various ways. One of them is a sort of history, saying, it didn't, before we had government owned and run high schools, and why did we end up getting them, and why did that not happen with food? That's one way, and we'll talk about that in lectures 2 and 3. Or you can focus on one main reason. That would be fine as well. So we said the one main reason may be price, that lots and lots and lots of people cannot afford private education, especially if you have lots of children, whereas more people, but crucially not all, but more people can afford to feed their families than they could pay for private schools. So there, for instance, if you wanted to, you could definitely focus in on that one main reason. Or you can give several main reasons, which is also, I would advise you to do that if your one main reason you think is not that interesting. So for instance, the cost one, I would say that although that's a valid point, it would not be a hugely interesting essay. You'll be able to get a sense for how interesting your essay is, because it'll be how interesting you find it, and if you show it to family or your teacher, how interesting they find it. So several main reasons might be a better approach.